gorgeous aircraft.
Awesome.
Awesome. Looks cool.
Well, it looks very cool. It looks very cool. All right, coming up next here, we have a Navigraph. There's probably not very many people in this room that doesn't know Navigraph, but maybe there's a few. So I know I look at their charts every time I open my sim, so. Take it away.
Phil and Evan, what a show you're putting on. This is exciting. We're off to a good start, I feel. In the off chance that you might not know about Navigraph, we're a company based in Stockholm, Sweden, and we spent 2 long flights to get here, and the jet lag is just about to wear off. Very good. My name is Magnus Axholt, and together with Stephen O'Connell, we founded this company some 20 odd years ago. We were college buddies at the time, but that's a different story. We're here to do Navigraph Charts feature announcement. Joined on the stage is also Jason. You might know him from our YouTube channel. At Navigraph, he works as a technical support specialist because you know a darn lot about the SimBrief performance calculator, for instance. You also have a sweet voice that we use for the narration of our YouTube productions. You should go to the YouTube video. We have one on Miami, which is quite nice. But there are others as well. Am I coming across? Okay, cool. Right, so can we do a little poll here by just raise of hands? I just want to know how many of you out here who are Navigraph users. All right, thank you for your support. As you know, we are very tightly linked to the community. We have big ears and, believe it or not, small mouth. And we're listening really closely to what you guys want. So please come over to the booth afterwards and tell us exactly what you want for the future, and we will do our best to build it. Also in the booth, we have a little surprise for you. As you might not know, Navigraph has a side gig. We're also a food company, apparently. Previous shows, we have offered a hot sauce, which some of you still have in your fridges, I believe. In Houston last year, we offered a barbecue rub because we thought that would be fitting. And this year is no different. We have an apron in our booth that you can get. There's a little effort required on your part, but I'll tell you more once you come and see us, all right? Okay, so when we were in Houston, we showed you weather. We had weather overlays, but that was a year ago. And since then, a lot of things have happened. For instance, you know, you have one of these usually in your back pocket. Did you know that you can follow your flight on your iPhone while you're away, or Android for that matter, while you're making some tea or when you're at dinner, you can make sure that your transatlantic flight is going as planned. That's what we use telemetry for, right? We also listened to you guys. You needed the flight plan inside of Navigraph charts. So now the SimBrief OFP is viewable inside of charts. ATIS is in there. And, well, we're all armchair tourists, aren't we? So we want to fly around and say, hey, I can see my house from here. And that's what we use satellite maps for. There's another base layer in Navigraph charts that you might be interested in as well. There's another type of charts in there, the FAA sectionals. I hope you get good use of those. And back by popular demand, I would say, is the ability to scribble on your charts. You can do that with a stylus or with your fingers. Here's an interesting one. For all those VFR pilots out there, we have an improved land cover or a classification of land. So when you're following say a field or a pasture, or it borders to a forest, then it's much easier to make that mapping between the VFR chart and, it's much easier to make that mapping from the simulator over to the charts. That's what I wanted to say. Significant weather is also on here, and here you also see a little glance of something that we released just a few days ago. It's the ability to put up to 3 different weather layers simultaneously on the charts so that you can see, here's the Doppler radar and the wind barbs along with significant weather. Derek at SimBrief, he coded up a thing which is very useful. You can now calculate 2 or more different routes and then compare which one you want. That's a nice one. And I hope you haven't missed the performance calculator. And then, of course, to all the developers out there, you know that we have APIs and we have a pretty crafty development department as well, and we love to work with you. So if you want to have Navigraph charts in your add-on aircraft, or if you want to use our AMDB data, for instance, or what might it be, just give us a shout at dev@navigraph.com and we'll make it happen. So, we're here for a feature release, and Stephen here will be performing a technical demo. Jason and I will have a little chat about the significance of this particular feature, and the feature is, drum roll,
Right, so the feature is traffic, online traffic, Navigraph traffic, and also ATC sectors, ATC control. This is the top-rated feature request in our wish list, and it's being asked for by you guys for many years, and we're very happy to be able to present this coming feature today. Now, I say coming because it's not released yet. It's currently in active development. We're still taking feedback, so if you want to try this out yourself, you can come to our booth. We will have a live demo there as well, and we'll be happy to talk to you about this and how we can develop this. I'll attempt now to do a technical demo. This is live with a bit shaky mobile connection, so bear with me. All right, so at the top here we have a new button called Networks. Let's press that. First thing that will happen is that we will show all the Navigraph pilots currently flying in real time. Now, Navigraph is not an ATC network. Navigraph is, you can call it a community of pilots and friends, right? Currently, we're tracking between 2,000 and 10,000 users simultaneously in real time. And with real time, I say 1 second update rate. So basically, these are all you guys flying with moving maps and Symlink running. You're all on this map. You can, of course, interact with this. So let's click some random guy here. So we see this is a person flying 240 knots or so, 452 knots ground speed. You can see the flight path. This is still work in development, so we're going to flesh out the information you get about pilots. So this is currently what we're sort of working on, and we'll be happy to talk about this in our booth with you guys, how we can develop this sort of Navigraph network further. Let's leave Navigraph for now and check out FlightSim. So currently we're tracking 800 or so pilots flying on FlightSim, again in real time. 1 second refresh rate on all these pilots. So you can track anyone flying on FlightSim in real time. And for this, we have been working closely with FlightSim. I would like to thank Tim Barber, FlightSim president, and his team, especially Richard and Jacob, who have been working very closely with our developers. Of course, again, you can interact with these pilots in the same way. You get this information screen down here, and we're going to flesh out all the information you get from the pilots flying on FlightSim. Again, we can press IVAO and get the same type of real-time refresh also here. We've been working very closely with the IVAO web development team, especially David Chikachev for the smooth integration work here with a real-time connection. Now, checking the online pilots is one thing. We can enable this button here to see all the controlled airspaces currently. And again, everything is interactive here, so you get who's in control. Jordan here is controlling Salt Lake City currently since 24 minutes, and that's his frequency. All right, so what you can also do is all these flight paths are in 3D, so you can check also the altitude all the aircraft are flying to see basically where they're coming from. You can see their approach, their descent, and we're also planning to show where they're actually going. All right, so this is the feature. Again, it's not released. There are still quite a lot of things that we're going to be working on here in the next coming months, and we'll be very happy to talk to you guys about what you think is important. We have already done so to build this, but the devil is in the details. So please come by our booth and check it out, and we're happy to talk to you. With this demo, I'm going to hand it back over to Magnus, and you can talk about this feature and why it's important.
Well, why it's important, what do you think, Jason? Why will people actually appreciate this and use it?
Yeah. Well, how many of you have flown on a FlightSim event before? Show of hands. It's a lot, right? The thing about when we're flying an event and we're going into an airspace, and we might pull up, I'm going to throw Jacksonville. You might throw Jacksonville up, and there's 15 Jacksonville centers, right? And we don't know which one to pick. And then you call a frequency in the first one, and they go, that's wrong frequency. Contact this one. With this, we're going to be able to see the sectors broken in. It's a work in progress, but that's going to happen. So that's huge for us as pilots and ATC. It saves us time. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We would love for you guys to come to the booth and show us what is the last 5–10% that you want to add to this, or 100 for that matter, we don't care. Tell us everything that you want, and we'll make sure that it happens. We flew over quite a large team here, so I'm sure you'll find someone to talk to. Can we just have the Navigraph team get up so that we can say hello? So any one of us on the team is happy to speak to you and see what we can incorporate into this. Now, Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about what the additional interfaces will be that we plan to add? There was something about a profile view and something that you mentioned 3D and so forth.
Right. So, of course, it's important to see the flight from a top-down view, but to be able to see the flight path in 3D and also the change in airspeed, the change in altitude is important. So this is something we're going to add, probably as a little widget appearing at the bottom of the screen for any aircraft that you click. That's one example. We have many ideas, and we're happy to hear your feedback again about other ideas.
Right, and also I think people are curious. Could you mention something about the technical challenges that were needed to overcome to achieve something like this?
Well, it's the main challenge has been getting this real-time connection be as smooth as possible, both for our infrastructure, but also for the client. We don't want to bog down the end user's computer too much. So even though we're displaying about 10,000 aircraft moving in real time here, we have really tried to optimize this to have as little footprint as possible, which we've managed to achieve now. So that's been one of the biggest challenges.
I don't know if it's me or who it is, but Jason here would be really happy to take some of the questions from the floor.
You want to pick him?
I want to pick? All right. How about this gentleman over here? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the gentleman is asking about in the sectors there's a vertical structure as well. Can we speak to this?
It's something we're planning to add. We're investigating exactly how much we can get out of the different APIs that we're working with, but that's absolutely the goal, yes.
Front row over here.
On the FlightSim stuff, when you click on the sector, will it show, the actual frequencies and everything of every center and ground and
Yes.
tower and all that?
Yes.
So
Currently, we're not showing ground and tower in this demo, only the sectors, but that's for sure added soon.
And for you folks in the back, the question was, if you click a sector, will you see all the frequencies in there? And the answer is yes. I believe there was a question, gentleman in the colorful shirt. You're wondering whether there will be a fix when you open the operational flight plan from SimBrief, and it makes what crash?
Just the entire sim crash.
Oh, the entire sim. I'm quite sure that that will be fixed, yes. We can't have that. Yes, over here.
Due to the fact that it's very early into the development, has performance limits and things like in line with developing this software since
Ah, interesting. Okay, yes. So the gentleman here is asking if we have taken the local computer performance into account when we do something like this, so it doesn't create too big of a footprint. Should you run the simulator alongside with charts? Is that correct? No, we haven't taken this into account. Of course. Well, that's actually for our CTO to answer.
Right now,
Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
of course, we want to be able to run this at the same time as the simulator. If you don't have a powerful PC, there might be some adaptations maybe in the update rate, depending on the available resources. We're not fully there yet, but for sure we're having this taken into consideration. Yep.
Good point. Thank you.
This gentleman had did you have your hand up before?
Yes, the gentleman in the gray shirt.
So now that you have the integration with FlightSim, will you be able to pull up the airport diagram with the gates and see who spawned at what gates?
Yes, sir. So the gentleman is asking whether or not we would have the airport overlay so that you can see specifically what aircraft is at what gate. So yes, we will. The traffic will be working down to the very smallest level.
Another neat thing is when you're flying with a friend, you have to call that person in front of you and say, what's your airspeed and altitude, like every 10 minutes, right? With this, you can just click on the target and you can see the ground speed. So,
We had a question over here, yes.
Somebody clicked on the user report, it wasn't showing like their actual profile name. Would you be able to see the profile name of the person?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you be able to mark yourself private so that they can
That's a very good question.
the ability to search for another person and
Yes.
it makes them selected or
Yes. I'm just going to repeat your question to the people in the back. So the gentleman here is asking whether or not you can turn on and off your visibility, mainly for privacy reasons, I presume. That's at least why we are planning this function. And you also asked whether or not it would be possible to search for someone's user handle. And yes, the intention is to increase the possibility of connecting with other pilots eventually.
All right, so as much as we'd love to do question and answer here forever, because it's very interesting, we do have to move on, but they will be at a booth. And so if you have a question for them, an idea for them, that is going to be your opportunity tomorrow and Sunday to go check out the team. There's a lot of them, obviously. It's like a Swedish invasion. So, but anyway, fantastic stuff, Navigraph. It's always a pleasure to have you guys here. All right, panel, what do we think about the Navigraph?
The Navigraph is the Navigraph, and there's really not much more you can say other than they are the Navigraph.
Exactly.
It is. If you guys don't use Navigraph for your flights, I mean, you are missing out on so much. I mean, one of the things I didn't actually hear them talk about was the fact they added VFR sectionals this year too, and that was like, yes, we've been asking for that for 10 years. I can remember. So yeah, epic for me.
Yeah, such like attention to detail, and I've had a Navigraph subscription for just 6 months now. I'm kind of late to the game, but still just diving into everything that's available. And they're obviously like just shout out to being responsive to the community, taking questions, you know, adapting and adding new features based on what people are asking for. So that's nice to see too.
Absolutely. You can't say enough about a company that wants to come in, make a great product, constantly improve the product, but also is really intentional about reaching out to all of you guys to really find out, hey, what do you guys want for your sim? And so that's just a big thing for me. I know I've got a few little ideas that are, you know, not major things, but once he said, you've got any ideas, I'm like, ooh, there's some things I can think of that would just make it that much better. So I think we're now ready with the next group here. We've got Fly Inside.